I first met Dr. Marcus Chen on a rainy Tuesday in October. Like most people who seek therapy, I was going through a rough patch. Nothing too serious, just the usual mix of work stress and relationship issues that pile up until you can't see over them anymore. His office sat on the third floor of a brick medical building in downtown Seattle with large windows that looked out over the constant drizzle and gray skies. Looking back, I should have noticed something was off about him from the start. The way his smile never quite reached his eyes, the slight delay before he responded to his own name. But when you're desperate for help, you tend to ignore the warning signs. The first few sessions went well enough. Dr. Chen had this way of making everything seem fixable, manageable. He'd leaned forward in his leather chair, nodded just the right moments, and offered what seemed like perfectly reasonable advice. Quit my job, cut ties with my family, move to a new city, start fresh. It wasn't until I'd followed through on most of his suggestions that I realized how isolated I'd become. My savings were dwindling, my friends had stopped calling, and my family members' numbers were all blocked. On his recommendations, of course, that's when his advice started getting stranger. He suggested I change my name, delete my social media presence, even alter my appearance. Sometimes when you become someone else to find ourselves, he'd say. That's not quite right, smile playing across his face. I stopped seeing him after 6 months. Moved to Portland, found a new therapist, Dr. Sarah Williams. The first session went fine until I noticed something about the way she held her pen. Pinched between her thumb and forefinger, just like Dr. Chen. By the third session, her face had started to change. So at first, the angle of her jaw, the spacing of her eyes. By the end of the hour, I was sitting across from Dr. Chen again. Same empty smile, same carefully measured words. I ran. Changed cities again, Phoenix, Denver, Chicago. Each time, I'd find a new therapist. Carefully vetted, excellent reviews. Male, female, young, old, it didn't matter. By the third session, they'd all become him. Their faces would shift like melting wax, their voices modulating mid-sentence until they matched his precise, measured tone. I hadn't slept properly in 3 years. I've stopped seeing therapists altogether, but sometimes I'll catch glimpses of him. In the rearview mirror of my car, he's a passenger in the back seat, gone when I turn around. In store windows, his reflection walks beside mine. In crowds, his face appears on strangers who turn to watch me pass. Last week, I finally broke down and called my mother. The first time in 2 years. When she answered, her voice was different, measured, precise. It's time to come back to therapy, she said, melting to Dr. Chen's voice. You can't run forever. I'm writing this from a motel room in some small town in Montana. The clerk at the front desk looked normal when I checked in an hour ago, but I can hear footsteps outside my door now. Someone's key is scratching at the lock. I know who it is. I know a face I'll see when that door opens. I'm writing this to someone anyone knows. Be aware of Dr. Chen. After all, every face is his face now.